All right, so if you want to get started, we can. I just
Let's roll.
go right into it.
Welcome to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room. Please visit our website, https://RABR.KAILEJOHANSEN.US. There you can find links to send us feedback, connect to us on social media, or instructions on how to load the podcast onto your device. I'm Kyle John Johansson. This is Andrew Scott Sutton and Rick Ross Bosley.
There he is.
It's time to talk Star Wars.
There's our binkies. All right, Star Wars. Here we go. So today we're reviewing the Star Wars sequel movie, The Phantom Menace. We reviewed this once already several years ago before Rick joined us, and I thought it was a good idea to redo it again because I really wasn't happy with the quality of it before. So we're gonna go through this, beg for feedback a couple times, do an unboxing. Got an unboxing, yay! This one's an interesting one. You probably know who it is from what you've seen already on The Mandalorian. So let me push this one right here. All right, so we want your feedback on this episode and every episode we've ever done. Any feedback would be nice. I've gotten maybe 3 things of feedback this whole time we've been doing this podcast. So, for 2 years now. But we're at feedback@kylejohansson.us. There's a link on the website that we just advertised, and we're on Twitter at super_duper_pod. We're on Blue Sky, which now has over 12 million people on it. Most of Brazil just joined it recently because they banned Twitter. We're at Rebel Alliance Briefing Room, all one word. And of course, we're on YouTube. We have audio and video on there. You can put comments there. And that means we're going to go into an unboxing. So I have to rearrange my desk here a little bit.
You so think this is awesome.
Yeah. This will take a second. Desk. Camera.
You are working slow.
We don't want to show my belly. Now we have a special treat. It's unboxings. Here's our box. It's got a warning label on it. Danger.
Warning.
Use my super sharp tool here.
Yeah, watch your finger.
Needs to be sharpened, actually. All right.
You should not want to cut finger.
Oh, don't look.
Oh, you sneaky.
There's the top. Can't really see it.
Oh, you need to turn the other way, upside down. There we go. Oh, it's the bad guy.
Moff Gideon.
Gideon.
This is one where he's got the dark saber in his hand.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got the dark saber.
Number 380. Moff Gideon. There's, again, the dark saber.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And his fancy cape.
Yeah.
And on the back, obviously, the Mandalorian is the story is through. Camera's having trouble focusing, but you can see all the characters there.
Yep.
I have quite a few of those characters. We may do openings on some of those. Let's see. Here's a side view of. You can see the saber better.
Yep.
And the top. See. So we're gonna do something a tiny bit different than we usually do here. Once I get the camera back up, we unbox these things, but we don't really talk about what they are or who they are. Because I don't know, we just haven't. But whoa, cutting my neck off there.
There you go.
That's a little better. There we go. All right, so Moff Gideon He was born approximately at 51 before the Battle of Yavin. During the Clone Wars, he joined the Galactic Empire, headed several projects to create specific types of soldiers, brainwashing, whatever, stormtroopers, battle droids. He also headed the development of what they call Death Troopers, a force of commandos active in the Stormtrooper Corps. With their own division, Death Troopers became one of Gideon's preferred units of operations. Some point, he joined the Imperial Security Bureau, and he was instrumental, as we've seen in The Mandalorian, in the rise of the First Order eventually. He held a secret committee of some sort of, I guess, worshippers of the Emperor. I don't know.
It's a secret.
Right. He joined what they call the Advanced Weapons Research Division and ordered deaths of millions of Mandalorians, and he was the main guy in the purge of Mandalore.
Mm-hmm.
Let me turn this light back on again. Maybe.
He was a bad guy.
He was a bad guy.
Bad man.
He promised to spare remaining Mandalorians after his, big battle run, if they surrendered the dark saber. And however, they promised it, but they betrayed him, and he kind of worshipped and wanted to get that thing ever since then. As we saw in the Mandalorian, he was after it with our Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
He went on to attain the rank of Moff during the Battle of Jakku, which is where Rey lived, but it wasn't during Rey's time. He faked his own execution of war crimes after the like during the first set of movies when they had the Battle of Endor and all that, the Battle of Yavin. He faked his death during that time, and obviously he came back later with his secret society of Palpatine worshippers. And he was in contact with Darth Vader, blah, blah, blah. He became prominent. There it is. It's called the Shadow Council of old warlords that are still, and it was actually led by Admiral Thrawn, Grand Admiral Thrawn. So that's kind of a brief overview of him and why he was important. That's so kind of the same.
He was BFF with Vader and Thrawn then.
Yeah, he knew them both. Right. So when he was first in the army, he basically, Vader was the guy that was in charge, second only to the Palpatine, right? So
yep.
So Vader was in charge of a lot of that stuff, especially the Advanced Research Division. Anyway, that's kind of what we're going to do for these unboxings now. I've been giving links to them on our website ever since we started, of a little bit of information about each one of them. But I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of put it on the podcast a little bit too, so it gives you a reason, to watch it even more. So,
sweet.
Now we have a special treat.
It was our unboxing. Yay.
Yay.
All right. So back to the movie, right? The Phantom Menace, full-length movie, a sequel to the original trilogy, was directed by George Lucas himself. He wrote the movie himself, and the music was scored by John Williams, the famous music score for almost every Star Wars movie.
John Williams.
Correct. And then our cast rounds out. This is I don't know, it's an order of importance or something like that. But Liam Neeson is Qui-Gon Jinn. We have Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Natalie Portman is Queen Amidala. I can never say her name.
Amidala.
Jake Lloyd is is Anakin Skywalker. He's the little boy, the little version. Ian McDiarmid is Senator Palpatine. Pernilla August is Shmi Skywalker, Anakin's mother. Oliver Davies is Soy Bible. Okay, some of these we don't care about. Let's see. Ahmed Best is Jar Jar Binks. Anthony Daniels. Yeah. Anthony Daniels is C3PO. Ken Baker played R2D2. Frank Oz was Yoda, or at least the voice. Brian Blessed was Boss Nass, the big frog.
The gun.
Yeah. Andy Sikimo. I don't know why I torture myself with these names. Played Watu, the flying little.
Oh yeah. The guy that
parts guy.
Yeah, the guy that had Anakin as his slave.
Right. And Ray Park played Darth Maul. Let's see who else.
Who was the pod racer? Do you have that guy? He started with an S. Slobkin or Slinkin or something like that.
Oh no, he's not on here. Let's see. We have several of them that are all grouped together, but you're Sindalua or something like that.
Yeah,
you're thinking of.
Yeah. The pod racer.
Here he is. Lewis McLeod played Subdula. Subdula. I don't know. Sebulba.
Yeah. I think that's right. I think it was Subdula.
And Warwick Davis was in this one, of course. He played a pod racer spectator. Don't know if you recognize him there, but he was also at Mos Espa, the spaceport at Mos Espa. That's most of the main characters. Here's of course Samuel Jackson was Mace Windu.
Yep.
And that's about it. The rest of them are just fighter pilots and background people.
Yep.
But Star Wars was originally released on May 19th, 1999. I'm sorry, The Phantom Menace, Star Wars, 1999.
It's old.
Right. It came out on February 10th in 2012 in 3D. The theatrical release was 133 minutes long. The DVD, Blu-ray, and 3D digital HD version was 136 minutes. The budget that they started with was 115 million. And the timeline took place during 32 before the Battle of Yavin. So 32 years before Luke Skywalker blew up the Death Star. And okay, so this was basically the fourth movie in the saga. We talked about that. Company media coverage. The film grossed over 924 million worldwide, making it the second highest grossing Star Wars film, unadjusted for inflation. Catalyst, 15 years after the original, or more than that. The whole storyline was 15 years. Let's see. And that's basically the synopsis of it. We can get into it here. We've got an opening crawl too that comes up, and those are always important to understand. So I'll read through that here in just a second. Let's see. What do we got here? Nothing really. So you know what that means. It's time to grab your favorite beverage, pull up a chair, and join us in the Rebel Alliance briefing room. Sorry, I was just thirsty. All right, so the opening crawl of the movie after the credits go, and then it goes, blah. Star Wars, and then the pre part is this opening crawl. So it says turmoil has engulfed.
Goes up.
Exactly, slowly, and it gets wider as it goes. Turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. Taxation of trade routes to the outlying star system is in dispute. Hoping to resolve the matter with a blockade of deadly battleships, the greedy Trade Federation has stopped all shipping to the planet of Naboo. While the Congress of the Republic endlessly debates this alarming chain of events, Supreme Chancellor has secretly dispatched 2 Jedi Knights, the Guardians of Peace and Justice of the Galaxy, to settle the conflict. All right, so that's basically saying that the Trade Federation is escalating things up, and we'll find out why here later on during the movie. So 32 years before the events of Star Wars Episode 4, there's a dispute. Supreme Chancellor Finis Valorium is the chancellor at the time. He's dispatched Qui-Gon Jinn and his Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi to serve as ambassadors to the Federation flagship in order to meet Viceroy Newt Gunray and resolve the dispute. Unknown to them, the Trade Federation is in league with the mysterious Darth Sidious. Who's that? He's a Dark Lord of the Sith who secretly orders Gunray to invade Naboo and kill the 2 Jedi upon their arrival. When Gunray asks if that would be legal, Sidious says that he would ensure it was by the time he did it. The Viceroy locks the Jedi in a meeting room. Once they arrive, they capture him and lock him in a meeting room and attempt to kill him with poison gas. The Radiant 7, which I think is Qui-Gon's ship, is destroyed in the hangar, but they escape anyway, battling through squads of battle droids. Jinn and Kenobi make their way to the command deck where Gunray is located. Shielding himself behind blast doors, the Jedi are forced to flee upon arrival of 2 destroyer droids. I think they called them droidicas or something like that.
Yeah, droidicas.
And they stow aboard a landing craft leaving for the surface of Naboo, where they're going to begin the invasion. So they're on a ship that has all the droids on it. Yeah. Pretty much an automated ship, I would say. Back on the command deck, Queen Amidala contacts Gunray to express her disapproval for their blockade, with Gunray explaining that he wouldn't have had to do it without the approval of the Senate. When she asks about the ambassadors sent by the Chancellor, Gunray claims that they have not received any ambassadors. What ambassadors?
Ooh.
Leaving Amidala to be suspicious. Gunray ends communications with her and informs his aide that they should disable all communications on the planet.
Oh
no. Meanwhile, Amidala is conversing with Senator Shev Palpatine regarding the recent attempts at negotiating how Gunray claimed that they would not receive any ambassadors. Surprised, Palpatine states that he had assurances from the Chancellor that his ambassadors did arrive. However, Palpatine is unable to finish his sentence as his hologram flickers out. Naboo Governor Sai Biblo suspects the interruption of communications is a sign that the invasion of the Federation is imminent. The Trade Federation. So they're coming down.
They're coming.
On the planet's surface, Qui-Gon saves a native outcast, Jar Jar Binks. He escapes out of his ship that he got onto, and Jar Jar Binks just happens to be walking around there, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on? Hey, what's all this noise?" And he saves him. Yeah, he saves him from getting run over by a Federation. I don't know. It's just a ship that's rolling across the ground, kind of clearing the area, I guess, right?
A truth carrier.
Kenobi appears and is pursued by some guys on those scooters or whatever you want to call them, the speeders. Yeah, that's what they call them, speeders.
Yeah.
Which are destroyed by him and Qui-Gon. Jar Jar shows the two Jedi the way to the underwater Gungan settlement. He says, "We can hide here. Use a Misa. Use a Tusa Misa.
Misa take you there."
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
we take you there. Meanwhile, the Trade Federation occupies the 3 capital city of Naboo and captures Queen Amidala along with the rest of the government. In Oto Gunga, the Jedi meet the Gungan leader Boss Nass and ask him to help the people of Naboo. But Nass refuses. He sends them off on a bongo submarine. And that's where they're like, I hope it's transportation. I don't know what it is. I hope it's transportation.
Oh, I don't know. Misa not know.
Yeah. They are attacked by several sea creatures, big, huge ones. And like one of them eats the other one, and they're like, oh, it's just the nature of life, you know.
There's always a bigger fish, Qui-Gon says.
Right, exactly. The Jedi with Binks in tow arrive in the Theed. They basically pop out of I think it's like they come up on a waterfall or something. They arrive and rescue the Queen. She's being escorted somewhere, and they ambush him and rescue him, and they depart for Coruscant, the Galactic Republic's capital planet, to ask for help from the Senate. As they attempt to run the blockade, the starship is damaged by the Federation battleships, but an astromech droid named R2-D2 manages to repair it, and they narrowly escape. Who's this R2-D2?
R2-D2.
He's a repair droid to start with, I guess, huh? Which is what they were designed for, I guess. Most of them were.
Repair droid. Repair 2, droid 2.
Exactly. So they escape narrowly. Due to the damage of the ship, the hyperdrive was sustained in the attack. The Jedi decide to land on a nearby planet of Tatooine. Well, we know what that is. Instead of proceeding to Coruscant, because they weren't going to make it. While searching for a new hyperdrive generator, they befriend a young Anakin Skywalker, a slave boy whose master is Watu, a Toydrin junk dealer. Toydrin. So I wonder if that's like a toy poodle kind of. I don't know. He is pretty small, but Watu is.
He's a gnat.
Yeah, a gnat, a large gnat. Watu has the parts that they require in stock, but Qui-Gon is unable to purchase them because Republic credits are worthless on Tatooine. And he tries to use his mind trick with him here too. He's like, you will accept Republic credits. No, I won't. Yes, you will. No, I won't. Your mind tricks don't work on me.
Not gonna work. Not gonna work on me.
Yeah. Anakin is gifted with piloting and mechanical abilities and has built almost a complete droid named C3PO. Ooh, the origins of C3PO again. So we know R2-D2 and C3PO where they started. Qui-Gon senses a strong presence in the Force in Anakin. What? And feels he may be the chosen one.
Ooh.
The chosen one, yeah. So that's a Jedi legend. The chosen one is the one who will balance the Force from the dark and the light.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he says he will. The chosen one will fulfill the prophecy of bringing balance to the Force. They enter Anakin into a pod race, and Qui-Gon orchestrates a gamble in which the boy, alone, since Qui-Gon was unable to include the youth's mother in the bargain, will be released from slavery while also acquiring the parts he needs for their ship so they can leave. The night before the race, Qui-Gon does a blood test on Anakin and discovers the boy's midichlorian readings is off the charts.
Ooh.
More than he's ever seen from any specimen. Off the charts. Which we know midichlorian is what allows them to use the Force.
Yeah, and we find out something later too, but let's wait on that just a second.
Yeah. Anakin wins the race, which is a pretty, I don't know, it's a pretty good part of the movie where they're doing the pod race and they're, fighting and beating, and he defeats his rival Sebdullah and joins the team as they prepare to leave Coruscant.
Sebdullah, he's an evil guy. He is a sneaky little. He's not
right.
A man. I don't know what he is.
I don't know. He's some sort of I don't know. Maybe like
weasel. He's a weasel.
Maybe something weird. He's got a strange looking face. That's for sure.
Yeah, he was a bad guy. He was a cheetah.
He knocked out several people by cheating, but that's the thing with the pod race. There's no rules on the course, so they can do pretty much what they want to do.
Yeah,
they're not supposed to. They're not supposed to crash into other people, but that's the only rule, I think.
Yeah, but they also had the people shooting at them.
They did. They had the.
They weren't the Jawas. Well, they weren't the Jawas, right?
Yeah.
Were they Jawas?
I think it was the other ones. The ones that the Mandalorian, or not Mandalorian, Boba Fett. Boba Fett, Tusken Raiders. There you go.
I couldn't remember what it was, but now that you say that, I think that's right.
And they were all excited.
And I shot one of them. That's right. It was the Tusken Raiders because they did that.
Exactly. All right, so they
fun sounds.
They do have good, funny sounds. That's for sure.
I like the sound.
The team, he joins the team and they leave for Coruscant, where Qui-Gon plans to seek permission from the Jedi Council to train Anakin to be a Jedi.
But this is the part we gotta talk about, because when he talks to Shmi, is her name Shmi? Shmi, whatever her name is. The mom, he asks about the dad. Qui-Gon does, and she says there was no dad. He was just born, and she raised him.
Yeah, we didn't mention
he
that.
was a virgin.
She was a virgin, and is what she said.
Well, he says there's a virgin.
Right, you're right. She implied that she didn't have sex and that she just became pregnant.
Yeah, and so that's an interesting key point based off of what we've already seen. Like
from the acolyte, there was a diversion. Right? He just appeared
with the high midichlorians.
Exactly.
So we can discuss.
And he says something that he thinks that he was created by the midichlorians themselves.
Yeah. Weird.
So we skipped that whole part where she talks to Shmi about that. So, because that's the part during the bargain about the mother and stuff, and we skipped all that. But he did mention that, and that she just kind of became pregnant and never had a father, never knew a father, maybe never had sex. Who knows? Ever. She just.
Misa think I don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know for sure. Okay, so he's back at the Coruscant seeking the High Council's permission to train Anakin, and Darth Sidious sends his apprentice Darth Maul to kill the two Jedi and capture the Queen. Maul appears just as the group is leaving the planet and duels with Qui-Gon. The fight is cut short when Qui-Gon escapes his black-robed assailant by jumping on board the Naboo Royal Starship as they take off. And we didn't mention that part either, but the Queen's the one that convinced Anakin to go and rescue, wasn't it? No, that was different.
That was different. No, but
Yeah.
at that point they don't know who that guy is.
Right.
They don't understand who he is.
Right. So when they arrive on Coruscant, Qui-Gon informs the Jedi Council that the mysterious attacker he encountered on Tatooine, and they're coming to the conclusion that the attacker is a Sith. The latter being a religious order whose followers of the dark side of the Force, blah, blah, blah. They have been extinct for over a millennium, much in the shock of the Jedi Council, which we know that at least Yoda has suspicions about it from the Acolyte, which happens before this. But a millennium, that's 1,000 years, right?
Yeah. But we didn't know all that before all the other stuff came out. So at the time, like, it didn't really make a lot of sense when we watched this movie without that background information. Now it's making a little bit more sense.
Filling in the gaps now. Exactly.
Way to go, Dave Filoni. John Favreau.
Yeah. He also informs the council about Anakin, hoping that he can train the Jedi and after testing the boy with another, the council refuses, deeming him too old for training according to the Jedi code. They also are concerned that they sense much fear in the boy and that he has a clouded future. So the Jedi have trouble seeing the dark side of it. When they have their visions or whatever, they have trouble seeing the dark side. So that's what they're assuming is.
That's when Yoda makes us, fear breeds hate, hate breeds anger.
Exactly.
What is that? Fear breeds hate, hate breeds anger, anger. What's the last
anger
one?
Is
fear breeds hate, hate breeds anger, anger breeds destruction. What is that? There's 3 of them. Fear breeds hate, hate breeds anger, anger breeds. Gosh, what is the last one?
Let's look it up. Yoda.
Hate breeds fear, or fear breeds hate. Hate breeds anger.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering.
That's it, suffering. Sorry. Because that's a key line he repeats in the other shows as well.
Yeah. The full quote says, "Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering."
That's it.
Which makes you depressed and all dark, I guess. That's
why. But it's foreshadowing for the events to come.
It is. After testing the boy, they are concerned about his future because it's clouded. Meanwhile, Senator Palpatine meets with Queen Amidala to warn of corruption in the Senate and advises she may have to call a vote of no confidence of Supreme Chancellor Phineas Valorium. When their petition to the Senate is refused, Amidala sees no alternative but to do that. So they petition him for help for the blockade, and they say, nope, we're not going to do it. She says, well, it's time you go. And it turns out that Palpatine is one of the candidates to replace him. He gets all excited and jumps around the room.
Ooh. How convenient.
How convenient.
Especially since he's from Naboo. He's a Nabooan. He's a Nabooan.
Yep. Booing. The Queen later announces to Palpatine that she will return home to repel the invasion of her people by herself. She is frustrated by the Senate's deliberation of action and feels even if Palpatine is elected as Chancellor, it'll be too late. The Council sends the 2 Jedi to accompany the Queen back to Naboo, hoping to shed light on the Sith. So this is where they are watching her the night before, and we see the Boba Fett try to poison her, right?
Yeah. I forgot about that part.
Yeah, so she's in the room, and I forget what that person's name is, but the changeling comes in and tries to do that. Wait, maybe that's later on in the movie.
No, I think that's it right there. Because isn't that when? Oh, maybe it is later. Because that's yeah. I think you're right. I think it's when they get back to Naboo. Because that's when she tells them that she had to do the deception.
Yeah.
Before they met the guns or whatever. Yeah, I think we skipped a little bit, but it's okay.
All right. So Palpatine, she's frustrated with the Senate. All right. Sith involvement. Back on Naboo, she attempts to locate the Gungans, but Jar Jar, after searching for the cities, informs it that it has been abandoned. Oh no! Because
no find
the Trade Federation has already attacked and tried to go down there, and he leads them to a Gungan sacred place. This is the place they go whenever there's something wrong or something weird.
This is a sacred place.
It's not underwater though, which is I thought was kind of weird. Yeah. Why would their sacred place not be underwater? But
that's why it makes it sacred.
He's certain the Gungans will be there, and they initially distrust the Queen until the handmaiden Padme reveals herself as the true Queen. What? She was impersonating, and begs for their help. She negotiates with Boss Nass to form an alliance and unite the people in battle against the Trade Federation. Captain Panaka, which is her bodyguard, basically, attempts to gather other security forces to rescue anyone imprisoned by the Trade Federation camps, although they were only able to successfully extract a handful. So they couldn't get into the camps. They're all blocked. So Amidala informs Qui-Gon and Nass of her battle strategy, with the Gungan army attacking as a distraction to the bulk main Federation forces. Naboo resistance is led by herself, and the Captain Panaka will infiltrate the Theed and recapture the palace. Once inside, through some waterfalls somewhere in the water there.
But we can't forget R2 is the one that provided the map for that again. So there's R2. Go R2.
Yeah, R2D2 is the man.
He's making a name for himself.
He's got to show that he's useful, so he doesn't have to repair ships anymore.
R2 is good guy. I think R2D2 good guy.
Right. Newt Gunray hears the reports of the Grand Army's assembly and informs Darth Sidious. And Sidious orders Gunray to wipe out both the Gungans and the Naboo as the Trade Federation prepares for battle.
Get him.
And then we have this little thing where they start, and the Gungans have these purple balls that they're keeping stored, and they're going to catapult them and stuff. And
energy balls.
And they have a shield too. I was like, whoa, a shield goes around the whole fleet.
Like an espresso shot.
Yeah, the little balls. Yeah. And Captain Roos Tarpolis orders the Gungan Grand Army to activate their shield, which protects them from a ranged attack.
You also not make fun of our small balls.
But the droids can walk right through it. It protects them from fire, but they can walk right through it, which is...
I noticed that too. Isn't that kind of I don't know. It's an energy shield, not a whatever shield, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
I thought that was kind of weird too, that they just walked right through it, but like the energy bolts were absorbed, but the droids could just walk right through it. And when they were firing inside, there was no ricochets off of the shield.
There wasn't. Coming back, yeah. The droids marched through the shield and opened fire, soon destroying the shield generator. As the tanks cause heavy casualties among the Gungans and defeat the Alliance, the defeat of the Alliance seems imminent. However, victory comes when young Anakin Skywalker accidentally takes control of a starfighter because Qui-Gon told him to stay there, and he was hiding inside of a starship, a starfighter. And I think he activates it so he can shoot the guns at the droids that are in the bay there.
Yeah.
And it goes on autopilot towards the attack of the main base of the clone army or whatever, the command center of the clone army in space.
Yeah, the command ship that's controlling everything.
Exactly.
Once again, with R2-D2's help.
Exactly.
R2's in the back.
R2's in the back. And he somehow gets inside of there with inside the bay at the control center and starts blasting things up, and it just destroys the ship from the inside. He kills Dulce Defino, which is one of the is the name of the ship that is the command ship's name, and he renders all the droids useless. So the droids just kind of they fall limp,
power down,
and stop shooting. And that's when the Gungans just kind of like, hey, we can just push them over and knock them down.
We suck and beat them. We suck and beat them.
We win.
We saw one.
And Queen marches back to the palace and captures Newt Gunray. At the same time, in the hangar bay, Darth Maul engages in combat with the two Jedi, using his double-bladed lightsaber. They move from the hangar to a series of catwalks in the Theed Generator Complex, which has those big energy beam walls.
This is the first time we see a two-bladed lightsaber too, right?
That's true. It's right. Two-bladed, and he puts them together, if you notice in the beginning.
Yeah.
They weren't together to start with for some reason.
But it's the first time we see a lightsaber that like ends in a saber on both ends.
Exactly. It's true.
And it's a red one.
And it's red. And they go into the generator complex during the fight. Obi-Wan Kenobi is separated from his master, Qui-Gon, and his master is kicked off the catwalk, but he grabs an edge of the catwalk below and jumps back up to where Qui-Gon and Maul continue to fight. By this time, Qui-Gon and Maul have become separated by a force field in the entrance of the generator room. So they've gone through the fields, and they're in between, and Maul is sitting there waiting, and he's attacking the shield or whatever, and Qui-Gon's like,
yeah, Qui-Gon, he like sits down and like he's meditating, like,
exactly,
and I don't understand this, so maybe you can tell me this. Like the doors, like they're like on timers because they like close and then they wait and then they all open again. It's kind of like the vault in the was it the Acolyte? Where in the vault where no, it wasn't the Acolyte. What was that?
That was Andor, wasn't it? No, you're right. It was it's in the Mandalorian.
Yeah, the Mandalorian. That's right. Yeah, with Grogu. Because when he goes in, like it like locks, but then it just like staggers. Like there's different like spaces. So I thought that was kind of unique. Like it, there was that popping back up again because like he runs in and then it locks again and he gets stuck, but he's like 3 or 4 sections back behind them. So
right, and then the fields open up and he gets locked again.
Yep.
Obi-Wan Kenobi does, but the other two are out.
Mm-hmm.
And Jinn and Maul continue their battle while Kenobi remains divided by one force field when they're all reactivated, so he gets trapped. There's a lengthy duel, and Maul suddenly stuns Qui-Gon by hitting him on the chin with his lightsaber handle. He then rams his blade straight into Qui-Gon's chest. Oh no! He mortally wounds him, devastating Obi-Wan. He yells and screams and says, "No, Qui-Gon, no! You're my daddy, buddy." Something, I don't know.
My master.
You're my best bud. And then the security door opens up and Qui-Gon redoubles his assault on Maul and chops the Sith's lightsaber in half. So Maul's only got one part. The other one, we don't know where it happened to it.
He lost half of it.
But Maul eventually overpowers and nearly kills Kenobi by forcing him over the edge of the bottomless reactor shaft. Obi-Wan saves himself from falling and manages to grab a pipe protruding from the wall of the shaft. Maul kicks the Jedi's lightsaber into the pit and prepares to finish him off. After Obi-Wan calms himself, does a little meditation. He uses the Force to leap out of the shaft and over Maul's head while summoning his fallen master's lightsaber. He lands behind the surprised Maul and cuts him in half immediately. Right at the belly. Maul's upper and lower body fall into the shaft.
We've seen this before. Darth.
Yeah. It's almost the same scene. He kind of explodes when he goes down there too, doesn't he?
Kind of some reoccurrences here. Yeah, because it was pretty cool because when he hits him, like you see the blood go like up in front of him. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then he tumbles. He fell head over feet.
Literally. Yeah.
Obi-Wan, I love you. I'm gonna fall head over feet.
And when Maul comes back in the future, he's got a droid legs and stuff. His upper body still survives, but he's got droid legs.
That must be a Darth thing.
Well, I mean, you got to realize that this lightsaber is going to cauterize everything as it goes.
Yeah.
And we saw, in one of the movies where they what was her name? It was in the Boba Fett one. She got repaired she got a new body, new belly and stuff put in her. So maybe he had something like that too.
Well,
so
the back to tube or whatever it is, kind of thing. So
yeah. All right,
we know
so
that Darth has one of those because that's what he like sleeps in, and then he gets in a suit.
Yeah, well, he either sleeps in it or he soaks in it for a very long time. Maybe he gets up 2 hours early and goes and soaks in it or something. I don't know.
Maybe it's it's the futuristic CBD oil.
Exactly. Obi-Wan reaches Qui-Gon moments before he dies as Qui-Gon instructs Obi-Wan to train Anakin to become a Jedi. You have to promise me. He's the chosen one. Yeah. Obi-Wan gives his word and he will, and Qui-Gon promptly dies. Which I guess maybe it was the time that was the problem, because we've seen other people get stabbed, through and through and survive.
Yeah, it was in his heart. I mean, it was. Yeah,
I guess.
it was right there. Like it was a mortal wound.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
leading Obi-Wan to grieve for his deceased master. The newly elected Chancellor Palpatine arrives to congratulate the Queen on her victory as Newt Gunray is sent to stand trial for his crimes.
You evil bastard.
Exactly. He's like, what? How did you mess this up? I gave it all to you and you messed it up, you dummy. That's what Palpatine says.
Yeah.
Later in the room of the Queen's palace, Yoda confers with Obi-Wan the rank of Jedi Knight. He says, hey, you've earned it. You saved the day. You've earned it. And Kenobi argues with Yoda about his promise to Qui-Gon regarding Anakin's training. And Yoda is convinced it is dangerous to train the boy, but tells Kenobi the Jedi Council has allowed Skywalker to become Kenobi's apprentice. Because, he lost his master, so
Well,
got to do something.
Now, so I got a bone to pick with this because I don't think the council agrees to this because Yoda makes the comment about Qui-Gon's defiance, and then he says he'll let him do it, but then he says the council does, but he kind of gives this look like he's making the call. And he's just gonna kind of like play dumb to the whole thing if something comes up.
Right.
If somebody asks, he's gonna say, "Well, Obi-Wan just is acting like his master Qui-Gon." So I don't think the council approved it. But
I kind of agree. So at this time, you have to realize that Yoda is the Grand Master, which means he's in charge of the entire council.
Yeah.
So he's the CEO of the council. Let's just say.
Yeah.
So if he makes a decision, basically it's the council's decision, right?
Yeah.
So that's what he's kind of doing, and he's like you said, he's like, well, if they ask me, I don't know. I just felt like it.
Well, I don't even think he's going to say that. I think he's just going to play dumb, like he didn't have anything to do with it, and it was just Obi-Wan being stubborn. But yeah. Because he can tell there's something wrong. He just doesn't know what. Exactly. Like he recognizes this is a bad decision, but I think he sees that
something's going to come out of it that we don't want.
Well, I think he sees there's good that was going to come out of it, but he also is afraid of what bad's going to come out of it. But he can't tell just how bad it's going to be or just how good it's going to be.
Exactly. Later that evening in the temple in the Theed, Qui-Gon body is cremated, and Mace Windu and Yoda agree that the Sith are definitely to blame for the tragedy of Qui-Gon, as there are only ever two Sith at a given time, a master and apprentice. Both masters believe that one must still remain. So they're assuming that he's dead. Not coming back later. The Naboo and the Gungans organize a great victory parade and celebrate down the streets. Woohoo! Yay! Woo-hoo. We did it. We defeated them.
We did it. Yay!
Obi-Wan and Anakin are present, and the younger is now wearing his formal Jedi attire. And he has his hair in a special braid.
He's got his robe.
Exactly. The mark of a Jedi Padawan. The film ends with Queen Amidala presenting a gift of appreciation and friendship to Boss Nass and the Gungan people. A big blue globe, which I thought those were bombs, but why are we trading those as appreciations? I don't know.
Weeza got a special ball. Weeza got blue ball.
Wonder why.
Weeza not know why blue ball.
They do hurt though. Oh,
but he only got one, not two.
Not two. Maybe the Gungan frogs only have one. I don't know.
Maybe Misa not know that.
All right, so
you should look that up.
so that's the entire movie then. That was quicker than I thought it was going to be.
That went pretty smooth.
Let's see. We're just at an hour, so that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So yeah, we went through the whole thing. What did you think about that movie? I know you said you didn't really watch it straight through, but you sort of watched it.
Well, I've watched it. I've watched it. I watched it last week, and I have to fully admit I watched it over a couple of nights. Today was just kind of skimming it to get the highlights, which is kind of what we've talked about. Like there was the battle scenes was pretty good. On the ground with the droids and the gunkins. I mean, it was pretty action packed a little bit, and it kind of set up. I mean, we've filled in a lot of the gaps, since the movie has come out. And so now it makes, going back and watching it, we have a little bit more of appreciation of what events kind of helped lead to the events of the movie. Like the fact that Lucas, sorry, wrong director, got it, but then these guys have been able to go back in and fill in the gaps and make it, believable and plausible with their story is actually pretty amazing, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
I mean, there's a few things that don't quite jive 100%. We kind of talked about that in the other, stuff, but all in all, I'd say it's pretty successful.
Well, one of the things that doesn't jive, in particular for a lot of people, is what the hell is Jar Jar Binks? Nobody knows what that thing is.
Me like Jar Jar Binky.
And obviously there's always been some rumors about him being a Sith Lord too.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is true. My
earpiece. Misa think that BS.
Misa think so too.
Misa think he's just a character that got introduced, and he's like any of the other characters. It's just that he became like a phenomenon character. He's kind of like Grogu. Like he's the Grogu now, Of course, Grogu we know has probably a bigger role and stuff, but like we didn't know Grogu was going to become the character that he was when he first came out. Like, we didn't know he was going to become like a main focal character. So,
well, I think Filoni did, but
well, yeah, but us as freaking people who are watching didn't think that. We thought this guy was like a weird, like Baby Yoda. I mean, that's what everybody called him, Baby Yoda.
Exactly.
Like, and so he became like this phenomenon character that like just kind of exploded. Well, that was Jar Jar Binks 20, what'd you say, 19, when did this come out? 1999?
1999. Yep.
So 25 years ago, this was Baby Yoda coming out as a character. Like,
you got to realize that Baby Yoda is alive during this time.
Yeah.
Not that you don't know that, but because he escaped during the Clone Wars, and we don't know where he went. Luke Skywalker took him somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? I think we saw at the last of the Mandalorian that Luke Skywalker took him at one point and started training him. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things here, and we see the Queen Amidala, the first, which ends up being the mother of a couple of our main characters in the future.
Well, we find out that she's a cougar. She's a cougar because Annie's like not even a teenager, and she's like a queen already.
He's like 15 or something, right?
Yeah, I don't even
think she's like 20 something.
I think she's probably even younger than that. I'm saying he's like maybe 9 to 12, maybe, and she's like probably
when they're rolling around in the grass and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I've seen the numbers somewhere.
I guess that's not legal or illegal in that universe. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, and we see Coruscant, like it's not necessarily the Coruscant that we know now, but at the time that's what we knew because we didn't know any different, so I don't know. I think they've done a good job of going back and keeping the original movie intact by filling in the gaps that they filled in. So.
All right, so I'm looking at the Ultimate Star Wars timeline. So we said it was 32. Phantom Menace. Here we go. So, of course, Chewbacca's alive. Count Dooku. Qui-Gon got killed at age 52.
Yeah, Mace Windu
Mace Windu is 52. Palpatine is 56 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, so actually, this just reminded me of something else because I thought about this when I was watching it. So the Jedi Council, one of the Jedi Council is like the Nala creature with the long neck with the head.
Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah. And then the Mr. Conehead guy, I don't know who he was that was with Yoda or whatever. He's the one that says the Sith. I can't remember who he is, but on to his, it would have been to his left. There's the Nala, the long neck with a small head Nala-like creature. Nala.
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. I don't know if they're the same, creature.
Yeah, species or whatever.
Kit Fistu. Nope, that's not the one you're talking about. What is that guy? The guy with the cone. He's in the Acolyte too.
Yeah.
He shows up. He's not on this timeline right now.
Yeah, it's okay. I just recalled that whenever because I was going to say that earlier and then I'd forgotten about it, and then when you said that I was like, oh yeah, I was going to mention that the Nala type character.
Okay, it says here that that's not right. Anakin in the Phantom Menace, he has to be younger than that. That's not right. During the Phantom Menace, he's 10 years old.
No, I'd say that's probably about right.
The Attack of the Clones, he's 19, that's the movie where they court and stuff, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, that'd be about right. So how old is Amidala or Amidala then in this? Does it say? She's got to be like 22, 23 probably.
Padme is 24 during the Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, so she's 14 years older than him.
She's 15 years old during the Phantom Menace. So they're
okay.
So they're like only like 5 or 6 years apart.
All right, yeah. Okay, I could buy that one, but I really think she's whatever. I guess she was a young queen.
Yeah, it was a birthright thing.
She's still a cougar because she's still older than him.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Mace Windu is 49 years old. Baby Yoda is 10.
So he's the same age as Anakin.
Apparently.
Oh, well, that could bring in some, interesting stuff there, that they're the same age. And Anakin is called a virgins, interesting.
Yep. It is.
Especially after what we know about from the Acolyte and stuff too.
It's very interesting. When you pull all that stuff in, it's very interesting. But it's like you said, there's all that stuff you didn't realize back when you first watched it.
Yeah, 25 years ago, we didn't know any of this. It's like, when we watched it when it first came out, it was like, cool, all right, yeah, it's adding to what we kind of know from the original three videos. But now we know so much more that it's kind of like,
yeah. Darth Maul is 23 years old during the Phantom Menace. He's pretty young.
Yeah.
You got to watch that's one thing you got to watch in the Clone Wars movie or the Clone Wars series is they go back and tell you how Darth Maul was created and stuff.
How old's Obi-Wan then? How old was Obi-Wan?
Qui-Gon was 49. Let's see. Obi-Wan was 26.
So he's a little bit older than Darth.
Darth Maul, yep. Couple years.
Interesting.
23 and 26.
And Palpatine was a little bit older than Qui-Gon, right? Or were they the same age?
Palpatine is 53 and Qui-Gon is 49.
Yeah, so a little bit older. Okay.
And of course, Yoda is 865 years old. But Maz Kanata is 942 years old, so she's older than Yoda.
Holy crap.
And the droid that we see in the Ahsoka, Hu Yang, 24,989 years old.
Holy crap. Well, Maz at that time, she was still wearing single vision glasses. She hadn't made it to the progressives yet.
Exactly. All right, let me push a button here.
She didn't even need glasses at that time. She was just good.
She didn't need them. She was good. It could be true.
She needed readers every once in a while. She had to squint to be able to read something.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Exactly. So feedback. So, anything we've talked about, you have opinions on it, please send us feedback at feedback@kylesjohansson.us. You can go on the website and click on feedback there. There's a form you fill out and it gets sent to us also. Unbeknownst to Rick, he does know it, but begrudgingly to Rick, that email goes to him also. So he's probably blocked it by now because it gets lots of email sometimes. But we're also on Twitter at super_duper_pod, which is X now. X soon to be no more since they blocked it in Brazil and they're going to block it in probably other countries in South America. Yeah, who knows? We're on Blue Sky, which is the better version of Twitter, at Rebel Alliance Briefing Room. And we're on YouTube. We have video and audio up there as well. So you can find us anywhere you find podcasts. If you can't find us in a specific location, just let us know. I mean, we're on even, Sirius satellite radio. So go find us there too.
We're everywhere.
Anything else you wanted to discuss, Rick?
Nah, man. I think that was good. It was good to get back in the groove a little bit. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's pretty
been a day
nice.
or two. I'm waiting for when's Skeleton Crew coming out in November, right?
Yep, November.
Yeah, so we can squeeze a few of these in and get all fired up.
We should probably take a brief moment of silence for Darth Vader dying. No, not Darth Vader, but James Earl Jones.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was huge this week.
It's a big one, and it's funny because all the shows are Disney's been replaying Empire Strikes Back quite a bit, and I think TNT has played Field of Dreams. He was in Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
I watched that Field of Dreams movie twice now this last week.
Don't forget the Sandlot.
Yeah,
where he played the blind
guy with the ball. Yeah, with the ball.
Yeah, and then he was also I just watched this movie like a month or so ago called Gardens of Stone. He plays like one of the master sergeants at Arlington, like with oh my god, I'm drawing the blank on the guy's names now, but he plays a role. He was in a lot of, and don't forget Mufasa,
right, from the Lion King.
The Lion King, yeah, that was a huge loss, that's for sure. 93, I think, right?
Yeah. I loved it when he was on the Sheldon show. What was that called?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, Young Sheldon.
Yeah, he was on the old Sheldon one first, but he was there, and Sheldon went to a cafe or something.
Yeah,
and he was sitting there, like supposed to be a Starbucks or something. And he says, "I guess you like Star Wars, right? Yeah. Do you want to sit here with me? Yeah. You don't care about any other movies I've been in. You just like Star Wars. Yeah." But
and then Sheldon says, my friend, I can't even think what his name says, that you would be unapproachable or something like that. And then James Earl Jones says, I can't remember what's his name. What's Sheldon's roommate? The guy off of whatever.
Johnny Galecki is his real name.
Johnny Galecki's character, whatever. He's like, that guy sounds like a real weenie.
Real weenie. Yeah.
My favorite clip, though, that I've been seeing of him being replayed was with Robin Williams. I don't even know what movie it is. I've been trying to find it. Like, he goes in and Robin Williams is like, I need a camera. Do you have a camera I can get right away? And James Earl Jones is like the Fuji. And he's like, well, do you have anything else? Cheetah. And then Robin Williams is like, which one would you recommend? The Fuji or the Vegeta? And James Earl Jones goes, fuck you. And Robin Williams goes, bravo. I've seen that clip like 100 times in the last week, and I don't know what movie it is. I got to find it and watch it. But that was just awesome.
Well, I mean, he did suffer from stuttering too.
Yeah. So it was like a total, he acknowledged his disability or whatever you want to call it in live whatever. So he was an amazing actor, dude.
There's also, like, I have the YouTube TV subscription instead of regular cable, and there's a channel on there that right now all it does is run old Johnny Carson shows. It's all it does 24 hours a day. Yeah. And they had one with him on it. James Earl Jones was on, and he was talking about that because apparently Johnny Carson stutters too. So they were talking about it quite a bit and stuff. It was just interesting thing, and it was obviously after Star Wars came out, so they talked about that a little bit, and and so on and so on. So
well, he was in Coming to America too with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, there's so many movies he was in. Like he was across the board, like comedies, dramatics, action stuff.
He was in a couple hundred of movies, I think.
Yeah,
there it is. Kali Mundi, the guy with the cone.
Oh, Kali Mundi. Okay.
Kali Mundi.
I like Conehead better.
Yeah. He dies. He dies also in Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Gets killed in the field, the grouping or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's the show then. So let's play the outro, and then maybe we can talk about other stuff if you got time.
Yeah, I got a little bit.
Thank you for listening to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast. Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR.KyleJohansson.us. On the left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcast. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at RABR.KyleJohansson.us. This podcast in no way is approved, sponsored, or owned by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. All opinions are solely owned by Kyle and or Scott, and in no way express the views or opinions of their past or present employers. Views and opinions are not supported or restricted by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this podcast and its affiliate sites without consent of Super Duper Podcast Network and its host is prohibited. I am Kyle John Johansson, and this is Andrew Scott Sutton.
And
Say
Rick.
goodbye now.
Rick's here too. Yay. No Andrew today. I don't know why he's not here. He's probably sleeping. He said he had troubles sleeping last night, but
Yep.
that's...
He's a worker. He's a worker. He's a worker. He's a worker a lot. He works a lot.
He works at night, which is probably the main problem. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's the podcast. So let's turn that up.